floor of Brookhaven Hospital in the other world with a giant mirror that stands as one of the creepiest moments in just about any survival horror game in existence. Already being averse to mirrors, the door locks behind Heather upon entry as the bloody tendrils begin to fill this room, the very same that filled the bathtub a little earlier in the game. Heather's reflection stops moving altogether, which is an incredibly confusing and scary moment to be sure. What is the significance of this scene? One most certainly seems to be that it's just a really great and unexpected surprise. Team Silent were less game developers and really more graphic artists, and I tend to think of this room as an art exhibit of sorts, which simultaneously offers a unique experience of terror, of Alessa's pain seeping into Heather's mind. And if any moment from Silent Hill 3 can even dare to top the mirror room, it is, of course, the oh-so-creepy happy birthday call. Heather answers the call from a payphone that, of course, is not hooked up to anything, and it's ringing loudly inside of a men's locker. What does this tell us? Since this is happening in the other world, we already know that Heather is steeped in her own unconscious horrors from the memory of her true self. And whoever this creepy caller is, I think Team Silent may have been a little short on time in order to develop any plausible backstory, but that could have turned out to be a blessing in disguise. After singing Happy Birthday, the creepy caller wishes Heather a happy 31st birthday, which is the age Alessa would have been. A little later, the creepy caller demands that today is Heather's 24th birthday, which is the age that Cheryl would have been. Since Silent Hill 3 came out, there has been a lot of speculation and theories from fans as to the identity of the creepy caller. Since Heather is steeped in the other world, we can say for certain that the messenger is far less important than the actual message. And just like the mirror room, I tend to think this scene is consistent with the goal of keeping the player in a state of confusion and fear. And it also reminds us that the other world of Alessa's memory must also contain elements of Cheryl and Heather's own memories as well. After completing the crematorium puzzle, Heather makes her way to this save room, where she finds a memo by a Dr. Midkiff. In the memo, it warns of a dangerous patient in room 312 who ended up in Brookhaven after allegedly stabbing someone on religious grounds. It should also be mentioned that the name Midkiff is derived from the Old English surname Metcalf, and Metcalf refers to a calf being fattened up for slaughter. And as we have seen time and time again with Silent Hill games, names are very important as they offer yet subtle clues as to what is really going on. So it seems that Heather's being drawn into another ritual sacrifice of some sort. And wouldn't you know it, in the very next room Heather enters upon, or enters into, it appears to have been set up for a ritual sacrifice. What are the chances? Even the book entitled Lost Memories that Heather finds in this room makes mention of several methods of ritual sacrifice. The title of the book also infers the memories of Alessa, and so Heather enacting this ritual is to bring back or evoke her spirit in accordance with the order, bringing forth God and, of course, ushering in a paradise earth. In other words, this is all part of the plan. Heather uses the blood from the bag she collected a little earlier to pour it on the table to enact the ritual sacrifice. This ritual reveals the path into the dark abyss from which Heather must descend into. It matters not if the doer of the action is manipulated into doing something which they do not understand. only as long as the ritual is completed and the end goal is accomplished at the level of effects on the physical plane. Heather enters the domain of Leonard Woolf. Looking around this place, we can see that it appears to be an area where the remains of sacrificial victims are disposed of. And of course, as well as Leonard, who symbolizes the old and abandoned elements of the religion that Claudia doesn't find useful any longer. Of course, the name Leonard Woolf is indicative of two predatory animals responsible for taking out the most vulnerable from the herd, or in other words, those most worthy of sacrifice. Leonard is trapped here, however, not physically, but spiritually. Leonard is a prisoner of his own beliefs. He is desperate to trap others in the same way. He speaks to Heather in a normal human voice, indicating that he is a sentient being of faith. It is only when Heather challenges him that his true bestial form is revealed. After defeating Leonard Woolf, Heather wakes up on the floor of a hospital room. In here, she finds the seal of Metatron, a talisman which is supposed to protect or guard against the birth of God unto the order. Of course, this talisman harkens back to the old order and its outdated beliefs. In Silent Hill 3, the seal of Metatron represents more of a relic than a seal of protection, according to Claudia. Her beliefs being, of course, somewhat different than her father's. However, this talisman does commemorate where this all began with Alessa. Remember that Heather just emerged from an aspect of the other world steeped in Alessa's memory and the old ways of the order.